Hi, Ale Becerra. Welcome to Sporti, Transforming Lives. We are doing this live session and live Zoom as we all invited, you were all families invited and parents to listen and continue learning in our sessions. We're going to have different guests this time. We have Ale Becerra with us. She's an expert fitness trainer. She has experienced a long time experience also in communications. She participated in Telemundo and Univision in a section, special section, sports section, that she will share with us more details and all her experience and background in the fitness world. And our topic today, and the topic that we want to discuss today, is how to, from pain, rise from pain and convert that into a self-motivation. So rising from failing, that's the topic of today. And Ale Becerra is here joining us. Now, Ale, share with us, how is it that that topic resonates with you?
Hi, Sandra, and thank you everyone who is listening and watching this broadcast, whether it's live or post recording. We appreciate you listening and absorbing some of the information that we're going to share, because that's really what we're all about. If you can take one or two things out of this broadcast, we're already winning. So thank you, Sandra. Thank you to all of your audience, and thank you to everybody who listens and follows this page. Yes, I am a crazy avid fitness fan ever since I can remember. I've always been into sports, into a lot of like physical activity. And like you said, how do you go from falling to rising, and how do you rise from a fall? And the only thing that I can tell you is, in the closest analogy that I can go back to, is I was 17 years old. I was just promoted to varsity team, soccer team in high school. I wasn't even on a match. It was a practice. And it was a tackle. Somebody came, tried to get the ball for me, and it didn't hurt. And I fell down. So when you fall down in the field, your first reaction is get up and go chase the ball. So I got up, I tried to go chase the ball. And that's when the pain really happened. I fell down for a second time and I could not get up again. My ACL was completely torn. All of the ligaments on my left knee were completely gone, because my knee literally went like this, and then it went like that. So all the ligaments in my knee were torn. So that double fall created what I would call a monster in what I am today. And I mean a monster in the best kind of way, because that taught me that when you fall, you got to get up. And sometimes you're going to fall again and it's going to hit harder, but you have to keep getting up. You have to keep grinding. You have to keep going. I was 17 years old, and the doctor said, if you don't make fitness some sort of lifestyle, you're going to limp for the rest of your life. Tell that to a 17-year-old girl. That freaked me out. Yeah. I was like, no, I don't want to have knee reconstructive surgery by the time I'm 30. He said, you're going to have full knee replacement if you don't do any exercise. So that was scary enough. So that fall led me to rehabilitation, led me to doing water aerobics, led me to learning how to swim, like, Olympic swimming, led me to joining an Olympic, well, not an Olympic team, but a competitive team in college. That led me to becoming more interested in rehabilitation, in physiology, in mobility, in movement, in human anatomy, and I just became obsessed with how the body works and moves, and it kept going. And I kept going, and always in the back of my head is, I don't want to get knee replacement by the time I'm 30. And I'm about to turn 40 next year, and I still haven't had knee replacement. And I feel like my knee is as strong as it's ever been. I do all kinds of physical activity, and it's all because I fell that one time, and unfortunately, and I'm not saying that you need to get a severe injury for you to learn what it's like to fall down and get up. There's people that go their entire life and they never suffer a single injury, which is great. That's amazing that you can get to be 40, 50 years old and say, I haven't had any surgeries, I haven't had any broken bones. That's amazing. But a lot of the times the falls don't necessarily mean they're physical falls or they're physical injuries. A lot of the time they're mental. But we have to learn how to, literally, we have to learn from it, get up and not do it again. But it's a lesson learned.
Yes, yes. That last sentence, well, all that you shared is so personal, and thank you, because I think it's also very inspiring, and that's one of our purpose doing this sessions and with experts and experienced people as you are, that you have learned in all your process. I think we all are here in this world to learn from our process, from our daily living. We learn every day something. And that big title, it's as you said, it's not necessarily a fail, a physical fail as severe as you had it, because it was surgery and a lot of effort. I do know that you went into a lot of emotions through the process of healing and learning how to transform that pain into an opportunity. And
exactly.
And how that's where I want to ask, like, in a different imagine a different scenario, and imagine a parent talking to a child that his fail is like, we lost the game. So what would you say, or how would you try to recommend and how to work those emotions that you feel when you are in that fail, in that moment that you feel really like there's nothing more, like you feel totally dropped down? And how would you suggest it's like the steps to start rising and thinking different?
And you know, it's a great way to kind of approach something that we're currently living in. You know, a lot of parents, I'm pretty sure they'll listen and they can understand where we're coming from, because we come from a generation where a lot of the times parents were very tough on us. They would say, you lost and you didn't put enough effort. And it's kind of like you know, the child gets that sense of defeat, like, I wasn't enough, I wasn't good enough, you know, so it kind of brings the child down. So I come from the generation of, I heard parents saying, you could have done better, you didn't train hard enough, you know. So it just depends on how the kid absorbs that information. I was the kind of kid that whenever somebody said, you're not good enough, you can't do this, it defeated me for a little bit. But there was this like sense of pride inside of me that said, oh, I can do it, okay, watch me. So that came from within, but I can't say that everybody's like that. So where I'm going with this is, we come from that generation of parents that they were very tough on us, which made us who we are today. But now we're living on a generation and these like new kids where everybody is expected to win, everybody gets a medal, nobody is a loser, everybody gets a consolation present, everybody gets a medal. And in real life, that's not how it is. So you have to think of where we're coming from with that mentality and how we grew up, how we were raised with being very, very tough. And now with that mentality, we kind of want to soften it up a little bit and be like, okay, we don't want to treat our children the way we were treated, not that we were abused in any way, but we want to be a little bit softer. But now you have to cater to this generation of children that expect no losses, that expect winning the entire time, that expect, you did great, there's no losers, everybody's a winner, you get A for effort, you get A for trying. And that's something that we need to also break away. So the extremes are bad. So we need to find that middle ground where we're not, you're a loser, you didn't do hard enough, you got to try better. And then we also need to kind of come to the middle and say, you know what, Timmy, you know what, John, you know what, Sally, not everybody can win, but you know what, you did hard, you did your best, that is the only thing that matters. Maybe we need to polish some of your skills, maybe we need to keep trying hard, and maybe you keep, you know, next time you're going to do better, right? So come from that extreme of you're not good enough, and also come to the center of that extreme of you're the best, you're just like them. No, because you know, I see my nephew and I see a lot of young kids that come with that mentality where they feel defeated, absolutely defeated, when they don't get first place. when they don't have the championship, when it's a team effort and they didn't win the cup, they came in third place, and they all just want to give up in life, and that's it. There's no more life because I didn't win the championship. And I think, like, I want to tell these kids, there's only one president. Like, a lot of people run. There's only one mayor. There's only one president. There's only one principal in school. There's only one coach, and there's only one team captain, and there's only one goalie. Like, there's only one of everything. And if those people get to those places, is because they work hard enough. They try, they grind, and they hustle every single day to get to that place. Was it easy? No. Were there coaches that were very tough? Yes. Were there people that were supporting them and telling them, you got to try better. You did great. At your level, you did great, but let's work on it. Those were the people that were kind of guided into becoming that number one. So where am I going with this is, as parents and as mentors and as coaches, we need to find that middle ground where we don't apply the methods that were applied to us, but then we don't really give in to what it is that we see. And we kind of come to that middle ground where, like, we're tough on them. We're not so soft, but we keep encouraging them to get better. Because let's face it, there's only one of everything. There's only one lottery winner. There's only one jackpot, like, it's just life, Yes. So people who raise their kids to think, oh, you're just as winner as they are. And when they don't get the scholarship, or when they don't get that recognition when they're adults, then that's when the real trauma comes in. And it's like you're setting them up for failure for adult life. So let's be realistic with our kids.
Yes, totally true. Totally true. And I will take advantage in this conversation that you're saying, parents, you're encouraging parents to become role models. But I want to learn and know who was your role model, from who you learned to be who you are right now. To always work hard, as you're describing yourself.
Well, I have a lot of role models in my life, but the one that always comes to my mind is my dad. He's always said that he's been my biggest fan. When I was working in one of the TV stations, and I was assigned to go to Brazil to cover Copa America. That was the biggest assignment of my life. And I have a picture of him standing with the Mexico shirt, just because, Mexico wasn't playing in Copa America, but he was wearing the shirt and he was watching me live. And I have a picture of him standing like this in front of the TV. And my mom took the perfect shot where I'm on screen holding the microphone. And my dad is just looking at me, and he's just so proud. And I remember, ever since as young as I can go back, he said, I'm always going to be your number one fan. And I'm always going to tell you the things that you need to work on. And I'm always going to try to look better. I know. And he would say, I know sometimes it bothers you, because I see it in your face that you don't like to be told, you can make it better here, you can fix it here. I remember, when I first started working in TV, I had this, when you first start to get comfortable in the camera, you have what we call like a crutch, a word, like when you say a lot, right? Or you would say a lot. So I would say this one word a lot, and my dad would record me with his phone, and he's like, come here, let me show you. So I would see it, and like there was like this ego side of me that would it would bother me. And then he goes, but I'm just telling you, because I don't know if you notice, but if you hear yourself, you're saying it a lot. So I'm just trying to help you get better. And as time went by, I kind of let my ego off to the side, and I said, he's not judging me. He's not pointing the finger and telling me I suck. He's trying to get me to be better. And little by little, I started getting rid of all those word crutches, and I started polishing everything. Of course, the work and the training that I used to get at work, that helped a lot. But no matter what I did, he's always first in line. He's always, first to get there, last to leave. I feel very blessed, because throughout the entire time, my mom has been just a great mentor and a great role model, just being a woman that's just very, very strong. When we moved from Mexico, my dad stayed at home with us back in Guadalajara. And it was my mom, the one that moved to the US, found the apartment, got a job, start kind of, settled the nest. And when she said, okay, you guys are good to go, then my dad brought all the 4 kids, traveled alone in a car with 4 kids, young kids by himself. So they both have been amazing role models. But I can just tell you that no matter what happens, my dad is there in the drop of a hat. So to me, he still is and continue to be my #1 fan.
Okay, great to hear you admire and you have your role models so close, your mom and your dad. And I believe, and I also opened this conversation, that there's also outside of our families, there's also some special friends, families, tutors, or a special person that comes into your life and gives you that support. And in all the sports that you practiced, who would you say was also very influential in your development and in your own growth?
He was a coach, and he's very dear to me. I remember I'm prior military, so I was stationed in Germany, and I was a personal trainer there, and he was always there. His name was Solandro. And one day he came up to me and he said, "Are you a trainer?" With this kind of like look, like, "What are you here?" And I said, "Yes, I'm a trainer." He goes, "Really? That's funny because I never see you lift weights." And he kind of put me in the spot, and I said, I have no comeback. How am I training people to lift weights and I'm not lifting, right? So long story short, he said, "I have never trained a female for a bodybuilding competition. You want to be my guinea pig?" And I was like, so I'm Mexican and I really like food. So I don't think that's my thing. And he's like, "Just train with me. I won't charge you. Just let me train a female. You're always here. You're a trainer. It'll help you as experience." And I said, okay. So he taught me discipline. He taught me seriousness, because it's almost like at times he made me realize that I wasn't taking my job seriously. Like, to me, I was having a lot of fun. He said, "You can have fun, but you can be serious about it. And I don't see you being serious about it. Like, you're late to your appointments. Sometimes you don't show up." Like, I wasn't really giving it the professional attention that it required. So he said, "When I tell you we're meeting at 5 a.m, I don't mean 5:30. I don't mean 5:05. I mean 5 a.m. And by the time I get to the gym, I expect you to already be warmed up." So that means that I had to get there at 4:30, warm up on my own. So when he got there by 5 a.m, then we can start training. So he really taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of dedication. And he said, "There's days that you're going to be sore, you're going to be tired, you're going to be sleepy, you're going to be hungry, you're going to be cranky. I don't care. We're training." So he believed in me. Out of nothing, he believed in me. And I said, I'm not going to waste his time. If he's putting that faith, that time, and that effort, I'm going to give him my best. So he said, "I'm going to make you a pro. I'm going to make you a pro bodybuilder." And I said, "I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm going to follow your lead." 5 competitions deep. And I became a national champion in Germany. And he was also a pro bodybuilder. And he said, "Okay, now we're ready to compete together, because now we're both professional bodybuilders." And I said, "You took me there." Like, just thinking about it gives me the goosebumps. So our first competition together was supposed to be in Barbados in 2009, and he passed away due to a sudden heart attack. So we didn't get to compete. I didn't get to compete with him, but I had another guy. His name is Marks. He was always also training with him. And it's almost like he took me under his wing. And he said, "Solandra's not with us anymore, but through you, I'm going to fulfill his dreams. And we're going to train, and we're going to get you to win pro." So I started training with Marks, and it's almost like we would always have these conversations about what Solandra would do, what he would say, how he would respond, what he would act, So thanks to Marks, I actually continued competing for another 5 years, and I continued to win. And it wasn't until I actually started my career in television that I had to completely put that side of me apart, just because the two schedules were very different, and they're both very demanding things. So I had to choose, so I decided to go for my TV career. But that's an experience that I'll always hold very dear to my heart. So every time I go in the gym and I see somebody doing something, it just, Solandro comes back and I'm like, oh, wow, you're still here. He's been gone for several years now, but he's outside of my family. He's my biggest mentor.
Well, it's a great story, and I hear you, and you're so emotional that I can feel also the goosebumps on how is it that we give that opportunity to different people that just come to our lives, and we learn from them and we honor them even though they are still not with us in this like present right now in the world, but you keep it in your heart and you keep all the learning that he gave you. And that's great. That's great to hear. That every question I ask and you answer so natural and so profoundly sincere, it gets me to another question. And I just want to make a small pause to say hi to Marcos Zamora. Hi, how are you? Welcome to our conversation, and we will open microphones for questions to Betty and Marcos in a moment, and also in a chat you can just share any question you want to ask. Returning to our main topic that we started, it's rising from failing, and I would like to ask if you like opening this as an opportunity to share directly with a parent and caregiver, like 3 steps to become that role model, because you mentioned you have had those different role models in your life, that in your childhood, it was in your childhood and your teenage girl age, also in this competition was maybe more in the younger age, young adult age. But how would you invite parents to, okay, in a young age, what are like 3 main things to teach your child or your children at home, so they can build this resilience to any kind of unexpected misplacing, failing, or injury?
Yeah. I think primarily it's very important that us as adults, like say, my entire life, and recently, it's going to sound like I'm going to veer off, but follow through. Recently I listened to a lot of like podcasts and motivational speeches from, super well recognized speakers. And one of them was Les Brown. He's from back in the 80s, probably before I was even born, but I just love the way he talks. And he said he gave this story about this kid who was a football player, and he was probably 120 pounds soaking wet, very short, very skinny, but he wanted to be a linebacker. And he said, but I suck at this. And his mentality was very negative. And he said, I'm just not good at this, but I really want to be a linebacker. And coaches tell me that maybe I want to be a kicker, or maybe I want to be a quarterback. The most important team player in a football team is the quarterback. He's one that leads in the touchdowns, and he just wanted to be a linebacker. And the coach said, do you love it? And he said, yes, I love just running into people, and I just love being aggressive, and I love pushing guys. And then he said, is it natural? And he said, no. He said, what feels natural to you? And he said, well, I like running really, really fast. And he said, have you considered track? Have you considered running for short distance? And he said, no. He said, why don't you try that? And then we'll talk. So the kid went and he tried for the track team. He made the track team. He made varsity. And he became the most condecorated track runner in his school. So where I'm going with this is, when kids are growing up, we all want to be things. I wanted to be a singer because my mom sings beautifully. And I feel like I got that talent from her. And I tried being a singer, but that didn't feel natural. I can sing in the shower, and once in a while when we get a mariachi, I'll grab the microphone and sing with my mom, and it's beautiful. But was it natural for me to be a singer in a professional level? No, it didn't feel natural. So when kids at a very young age, they start an activity, maybe they want to be linebackers. They really love being a linebacker, but it doesn't come natural. Maybe because of their physique, maybe because they're not developed to that. They're not well developed physically yet. So we need, as parents, mentors, coaches, encourage them. Hey, I want to be like Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to score goals, and I want to be like Messi. Let's encourage them. One thing is telling them that's not possible. Another thing is over encouraging them. You're going to be just like him. And whenever the kid doesn't do it, he gets right. So that's where I was talking about coming, kind of coming in the middle. So help them achieve those things without false illusions. So if the kid wants to be like Messi, you know what? Let's train. Let's work on your skills. Let's do this. Let's guide them to them without crushing them and without over encouraging them. So I would say, one, let them be kids, because kids take sports as play. It's a game. Whether you're playing in the little leagues or you're playing as a professional, it's a game. At the end of the day, you're going to eat the same way people do. You're going to sleep the same way people do. You're there to have fun. Let them be kids. Don't overforce them. Don't overtrain them. Don't try to project your crushed dreams onto them. So I don't have kids, but if I had a daughter, I would love for my daughter to be a professional singer and one day see her on stage completely successful. But if that's not natural to her, and if she wants to paint, if she wants to be I don't know, she wants to be a doctor instead of a singer, I need to encourage her and I need to support what it is that she wants to do. So in those young years, when kids start to play sports, they need to take it as one, it's a game. They're there to have fun. Two, they need to take it and absorb the activity as social, as learning discipline, respect, hierarchy, discipline, because they need to, those are the young years where they're going to learn that there's always going to be somebody who knows more, who they need to respect, who they need to follow, who they need to listen to. And team members or team players are not the same as coaches. So those younger years, I would say to parents, encourage them, motivate them, don't overtrain them. And for sure, don't push them to be something they don't want to be. Because I have seen way too many times dad just really wants Juanito to be a soccer player because when he was young, he was a soccer player and he's going to be what he couldn't be. But Juanito wants to play baseball. Let him play baseball. Let him play basketball. If that's not what you grew up with and you've never touched a basketball, but your son keeps seeing LeBron James and he wants to be like LeBron, take him to a basketball game. Show him, do with him what feels natural to him or to her, because that's the only way that they're going to enjoy it and really develop all the skills that they need to when they're enjoying it. The moment they enjoy it, it's game over.
Yes, so true. That's so true. And it's a something that I struggle, it's something that we constantly see, those parents that are pressing so hard to their children and are like expecting. The thing is the expectations that parents and caregivers set up in their minds when the kid
incredibly high standards,
4, 5 years, 6 years. Oh, come on, I want him to be a Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo or any other great soccer player known in the world. But it's like, it's not that you start from the 4 years to become that soccer player. It's a lot of time required, talent, effort. And as you said, it has to be fun in the early years, because I don't know if you have heard, but there's a statistic that shows that around 30 to 40% of children aged 13 years old they drop sports. They don't want to know anything else and no longer in their lives. And they quit sports at 13 because they were introduced to competitive and very demanding trainings and working sessions when they were really young. So it's good to start at a young age, but not to make it that competitive, because when they get to their 13s, in their teen
They
age,
get burnt out.
burnt out.
They get burnt out. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to see anything. They don't want to deal anything with sports because they get overtrained. And that's a term that we use a lot, especially in young people, adolescents and young adults, and even professional athletes. You know, it's a very common thing to do overtraining. You know, an MMA fighter wants to get better at jiu-jitsu. They want to do better at grappling, and they want to beat their next opponent, and they want to be better at chokeholds. And, you know, I'm talking like, you know, MMA and mixed martial arts. And so they have these grueling training sessions of constant, like you're talking like 3 to 5 hours a day, sometimes 3 in the morning, you know, an hour of weight training in the middle of the day, and then at night they train again. That's a lot of that's a big toll on the body. Imagine that's an adult. Obviously, you're not having a child train that much. You know, it's like you're having a full-time shift, but all with your body. So it's overtraining. So when you start this concept at a very young age, the kid is going to be more prone to injuries, psychological damage, even if it sounds cliche and funny. But the kid starts growing like, I'm not enjoying this. Like, you know, it's like when you tell a kid, you got to go to school. Okay, school is different. Kids never want to go to school.
Mhm.
But you got to teach them that, okay, you're doing this for fun. But when you're taking them to practice and you're taking them to games, and they're not excited about it, that's you really, as parents, as coaches, as mentors, we need to really reevaluate what it is that we're doing, that it's getting them to the point of, I don't want this anymore.
Yes. That's really a thin line, I believe. It's a very thin line, but I think that's where the parents and caregivers come in really close and really like on point, into the point, to just motivate the kid and keep him in a healthy emotional progress, because it's growing, it's learning, it's we win and we lose, but we learn. It's all that we have been mentioning since we started our conversation. It's trying to make it, yes, I have done it with my own children, and they're young adults right now, that it's a curve. It's you're always like moving in like an infinite, as we were discussing one time.
Yeah.
It's the movement of how you are on top and on bottom, but you keep moving because you keep learning from when you fall and you fail, and you don't like fall and step and just stand up again, or fail in your goal, but you look back, you think about it, you learn from your mistakes, and you just come over from them. And that's learning, that is growing, that is life. And when
you know, one thing that I see a lot nowadays, and that's something that I also grew up with. I don't know if it was just me or coincidence, but I used to watch a lot of sports movies. You know, like the Rocky, it's one of them. That's a classic. You know, every sports movie has a message behind it. You know, I mean, who hasn't watched Rocky? Come on, you
Yes.
know. So growing up, when you have this kid that they're so passionate, you know, Million Dollar Baby, Southpaw,
Perfecto.
El Juego Perfecto, you know, all these like sports movies that I always cry,
Yes.
like ugly cry with sports movies. One, because it reminds me of my childhood, but it's because it's such an inspirational story. I'm like, I know they're gonna win, but I'm like, they won, you know. It's just the whole story behind it. And I think it's great to spend this time with kids, showing them old school movies, like sports movies, like Rocky, for them to learn who was Rocky. Now they see Sylvester Stallone. In our generation, we see Arnold Schwarzenegger, we know who he is. We
Yes.
see Sylvester Stallone, we know who he is, right? But some of these kids are like, who's this old guy? Like, you need to watch these movies to understand. But the message behind it, it's when you really learn the discipline and the grit you gotta have. It doesn't matter which sport you play. It doesn't matter if you're wearing boxing gloves or soccer cleats. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're gonna fall. You have to get up. And Rocky said, it doesn't matter how many times you get punched. It matters how many times you get up and you keep going. Yeah. That's what matters. So that's where we need to learn as mentors and as guides and coaches, but we need to learn it ourselves and then pass it on to them. You know, like as a parent, again, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak in those terms, but I'm pretty sure at some point parents feel defeated. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why is he not doing this? Or why is there failing in school? Or why is I'm pretty sure parents ask themselves every single day, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? Am I doing the wrong thing? Is this the right thing? You know? So let's us as the adults and the guides and the mentors also learn from these failing experiences and learn to be like, not so hard on us so that we don't apply the same hardship on them. So if you're easy on you as a coach, you're doing your best, not mediocrity. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing your best as a parent and as a coach, then you're going to be easy on yourself. So you can also be easy on them. It's a team effort.
Yes, of course. And I would like to move on into a different perspective. Like how can we how do you as expert in fitness will recommend like parents that they're just like, oh, it's just I don't know anything about sport. I never had any physical activity mentor, tutor, a role model who inspired me to get active. And let's imagine the scenario of right now what a lot of families in San Antonio experience and in United States and in the world. 2 out of every 3 children have overweight or obesity. That is really alarming. But I do believe that we can make a movement. We can inspire others. We can inspire parents to get out from their zone. Maybe it's not a comfort zone. It's something they just don't know where to start. So I ask you, Ale, as a coach and fitness expert, where can parents start to get moving?
It starts at home. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to be part of a league. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need fancy gadgets. You just need will. Because if your kid wants to run, again, I keep going back to the generation of we would beg our parents to go outside because we were playing racing outside. Like I would race my friend, be like, let's see who can run the fastest. Like that was our game back then. Nowadays we have the benefit and kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword where we have so much technology, but because of technology, we can use it to our advantage. You know, just get on YouTube. There's so many things on YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything. Everybody holds one of these things in their hand. Get on YouTube. If your kid wants to play soccer, Google soccer drills. Everybody has a ball. Go to Walmart. They're $3. Get a ball. Google soccer drills. Learn with your kid. At the end of the day, you're having fun. You don't have to go and buy expensive cleats and get the whole uniform and be decked out, because you don't need all of that to move your body. All you need is your body. And it all starts in your head. So parents, when your kid says, hey, let's go outside. I don't know if we have any more of those kids, because nowadays they just want to stay inside in the computer or the tablet. But parents need to also get on that train of, if you see your kid hunched like this for 2 hours, it's too long. Hey, you know what? Let's go play outside. What are we going to do outside? I don't know. Let's go play outside. Let's do something. Let's do something. Race to the corner and back. You know what? I have a football. Show me how to throw a football. I don't know how to throw a football. One thing that my dad used to do with my brother a lot, and my dad's not a baseball player. My brother, sure enough, is not a baseball player, but he had a mitt and he had a baseball, and he would sit there and just toss the ball to my brother. and he would just, I'm pretty sure they're tossing the ball wrong. They're probably prone to an injury because they don't know how to throw it, but they were spending quality time. It was dad and son. So do that with your kids. Just get out. And from there, I'm pretty sure they're gonna get ideas and they're gonna be like, hey dad, what if I can be like Jose Altuve and I can win like the World Series like they did, like they just did. What if I can shoot like so high and I can be like LeBron? Get their imagination. When they're active with their body, their imagination starts flowing. And where mind goes, energy flows. So parents, where is your energy? Because if your energy is stagnant, you're not going anywhere. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. So if your attention is on, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I don't have time, just going from work, that's where energy is going to be, right there, stagnant. Mm-hmm. And your kids are going to follow. So I'm not saying do this, 3 hours a day. But, give yourself the time, just like you're like, oh, I need time away, so I'm going to go hang out with the boys and have a beer. Okay, schedule that time to have time with your kids and just go outside. Stargaze, start counting the little bugs. I don't know, do something with your kids. Get their imagination, get their bodies active, and everything will just flow from there. Parents just need to have a little bit of initiative. Just a little bit of initiative. And the hardest part is always starting something.
Yes. And to keep it, but I heard a saying the other day, and well, it's not a saying, it's a rule, the 3 rule. Do you know the number 3 rule? Have you heard of it? It said you need 3 days of motivation. So just get started with that motivation of moving, start doing something to become active or more active, or like that motivation to say, I'm going to spend quality time with my children instead of leaving him hours sitting in the couch watching TV or a tablet. So it takes 3 days of motivation to start doing that new activity. 3 weeks, you keep doing it. It will become an habit. You will instill an habit. 3 months that you keep doing it, you will see your goals. You will meet your goal, and 3 years, it's just a lifestyle. It becomes
wow. And you're absolutely right. That, I mean, I hadn't thought about it that way, but it makes so much sense. And the hardest part is the first 3 days. And I see it every day when people come into the gym. They come in super motivated day 1. The next day, they're walking around like they got ran over by a freight train. They can't move. They come to a 3rd day, and maybe they take like 3-4 day break. And I'm like, you have to come back. The worst thing you can do is quit, because you're going to get discouraged. You're going to get even more sore. You got to keep moving. Sweep your house. Do some cleaning around. Just be moving. But you're right. That 3 rule makes so much sense. 3 days to start. 3 weeks to become a habit, 3 months to make it
meet the goal
to meet a goal. Like, you have like a 90-day challenge, which is 3 months, and in 3 years, it's a lifestyle. You're absolutely right. I love it. And it's such a simple rule, but sometimes it's so hard to follow.
Yes. But we're here trying to motivate parents and caregivers just to listen to us and to join that movement. I'm proposing just anybody who's listening to this video recording or repeating this session to keep motivated, to stay motivated, to find that inner energy, as you said right now, where there's attention, where attention goes, energy flows. So get that attention to something that you want to change in your lifestyle. Actually,
and it will come. You just need to focus on it. I'm very much into spirituality and believing, the law of attraction, the law of how you see things and how you manifest things. Has it ever happened to you that maybe you go buy a car and you're looking for a red car, and then all of a sudden all you see is red cars? Like they're just everywhere. Like, where were these cars yesterday? I didn't see them. Or you start you hear someone say something, and then all of a sudden, like, you're Sandra. Before I met you, I didn't know any Sandras. And now I know like a bunch of Sandras. So it's like one thing has to happen and then it just keeps thinking, right? So if you focus on something long enough with the right attention, it will come to you. Of course, I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to think about $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. Oh, it's not there. No, I mean, it could happen, but you have to be willing to accept that there are challenges to get there. But are you willing to take those challenges and overcome them? That's when things start manifesting in your life. But everything starts with your mentality. If you feel defeated, you will continue to attract defeat. I can't do it. I'm not made for this. Everybody's against me. Nobody likes me. I don't have friends. I'm broke. I don't have money. Look at where I live. My car just broke. You're calling that, and it's coming to you. So whatever you're thinking about, it's what you're calling. So when you change your mentality, all those things that are coming into your life start changing. It's as simple as waking up, and this can also be instilled in our children. The moment you get up, today's going to be an amazing day. That's it. You declared it. You made a commitment with God, with yourself, and with your day. Today's going to be amazing. No matter what happens, today's going to be amazing. If you start your day with that, how many times have you heard people say, oh my God, I spilled my coffee on my shirt. If this is how my day starts, I don't even know what's coming next. Guess what? Here comes traffic. Here comes your boss calling you into the office, and it trickles down, So let's switch our mentality. Let's instill that in our children for them to wake up thinking, you know what? Today's going to be awesome. Today I'm going to have a good day in school, and I'm going to go and I'm going to show my coach how much better I'm getting at dribbling the ball. Or I'm really going to finish my math on time. Just start instilling that positive mentality, and things will flow. That's where your energy is at. Good things happening, where your attention goes, your energy flows.
Correct. Totally agree. I totally agree with you. That you're sharing. Ale, thank you very much for all your energy and your sincere thoughts, and I can feel it. Comes from the heart, comes from the experience. And well, we're almost, time flies. We're almost completing the hour. And well, I would, Betty, do you have any questions? Would you like to, anyone in the chat wants to ask any question to Ale? Well, they think about it. I'm gonna have a quick, like, one word answer with one word. What do you like the most? What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What is your favorite character in animation character?
That's a tough one. I have a couple of them, but right now I'm gonna say Tweety Bird.
Okay, Tweety Bird. Yeah. Well, what's your favorite movie?
I have a couple of them. My all-time favorite is The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And the cartoon, the original cartoon. And my second-time favorite is Ghost.
Okay. And closing, what's your favorite book? What do you like to read?
My favorite book, it's called Azteca, and this book is like this big.
Okay.
And the pages are like see-through thin, and the letters are like this big. But it's an amazing story. My dad gifted me that book, and it was written by an author named Gary Jennings, and he wrote the story about the rise and fall of the Aztec Empire. And it's an amazing story because it goes around. Part of it is fiction, but most of it is history. And my dad is a big history buff. So when we sit there talking about history, we're going back and forth. So the main character, his name is Mistli, and he was just somebody who lived in El Imperio Azteca, back when it was Tenochtitlan. And he was raised to be a warrior. But during, from the very moment that he was born, he was chosen to be a warrior for the emperor. So from the very early years, it tells you all the story about his upbringing. It's very graphic. When he was 11 years old, he was raped by his sister. When he was 12, he was brought into the empire and he was thrown to hyenas just to really test his strength. I mean, imagine an 11-year-old boy being tested that way. He survived. He tried to escape. It's just an amazing book. It tells you about Hernán Cortés, La Malinche, when the Spanish conquistadores came in and they were really doing a lot of like blood sacrifices, how each of the gods and what they represent, and now how we see them as mexicas and now mexicanos, how we see that culture and how we translate it to modern culture. It's just such an amazing book. I don't even know if it's in shelves anymore, but like, I swear, you start reading it and you can't stop. I mean, the book is it's like probably 3 times the Bible. It's so big, but it's such an interesting story. So above all books that I've read, history buffs, that's my all-time favorite. It's called Azteca by Gary Jennings.
Great story. That's amazing. And what would be your a phrase that it's like your motivation mantra, your quote? What is your daily quote?
My daily quote, and I quote, I call my energy back to me now, fully restored, healed, and recalibrated from every place, person, or thing that has taken it away from me. My energy is mine. I send love and light to everybody who has tried to hurt me because I love them back. I've memorized that. I wrote it. And every day I say that to myself. I call my energy back to me because, believe it or not, we give our energy to people. When somebody makes you mad and you respond, you're giving them your energy, your power. When somebody makes you cry, you're giving them your power. When somebody upsets you, ¿por qué se me mete este güey? You're giving them your power. Don't give your power away. When your kids make you angry and you respond to it, te me vas al cuarto castigado, 2 horas. And you're so angry, you're giving your power away. When somebody makes you cry, you're giving your power away. When the coach just makes you so angry and you're like, you're giving your power away. Don't give your power away. And every day, whether we like it or not, we give it away. So call it back, clean, healed, recalibrated, and only belonging to me. And you have no idea how good I've been sleeping for the past 2 years since I say that every night. I pray every day. I'm Catholic, but I call my energy back to me. I'm like, this is mine. It's my energy. I call it back to me. From every place that I've gone to, from every person that I've gone to, and from every place that I visited, I call my energy back to me. And you just, you go and it's like, you're like, oh, La La Land, whatever works for you. But that's my daily mantra.
Yes, I love it. And maybe I can start praying like that. I do pray.
Yeah.
I'm Catholic as well. And how I start my day it's very short, but for me it's very meaningful. I'm grateful and thankful for all that happens, for every detail in the day that happens, because it brings me the opportunity to become a better person and be the best version of myself.
Yeah. That's awesome. Every time something good happens to us, we kind of knock ourselves down, and we look down on ourselves and we have a sense of defeat when something doesn't happen, but everything happens for a reason, good and bad. So what you just said, it's very true. Be grateful for what you have and be thankful for what's coming, good or bad. Everything is a learning lesson.
Yes. And when you work so hard, and I don't know if you have been in this situation, that you are like, I prepared myself. I did all the steps that it take. I followed all the the mentoring, the formulas, like you feel that you were totally prepared to accomplish something, but it doesn't occur, it doesn't happen. It's because it's perfect like that. It had to be like that, because you have to learn from that moment and that experience to change something and make it better, so you can earn it.
Yes, but before we close, I think I really want to share this with you, and I think I told you this when we spoke previously, and that goes just right along with what you said. Sometimes you prepare so much, and that reminded me of a post that I shared recently. I left my TV career back in May, and right now I'm going through a lot of emotions seeing the World Cup, because a year and a half ago, I was told and assigned to the World Cup. A lot of things changed. And I'm very nostalgic and sad in a lot of ways, because I see all the reporters and I see all the team, and I'm thinking to myself, I would have been there, and I'm not. And then when I talked to my dad and I talked to my husband and I talked to my mom, they said, yes, you're not at the World Cup, but you're changing lives. And when the World Cup is over, but you're here. And when the World Cup is over, you're still going to be changing lives. You're still going to be waking up every morning at 5:30 in the morning to train people, but you're leading them to healthier lives. So that's much more of a reward. You're a business owner. It's your show. You're doing things for you to feed your family, and you're getting the satisfaction to say, this is mine. Yes, a World Cup is an amazing assignment. It would have been a dream come true in so many ways. And I wanted to live that dream for my dad, for my brother, for all the people that just dream that could go to a World Cup. I was going to live that. And I think part of me is upset, and it's sad, and it's very nostalgic, and a little bit, I have a little bit of a grudge because I'm not there. But the other side of me, the noble side of me, reminds me, if that didn't happen for you, is because God has bigger things, and God will never keep you from what is truly meant for you. So if that didn't happen for me, I'm human, so I will overcome it, the feeling of it. Again, I'm giving my power to that feeling, so I'm calling it back to me. But what I'm doing now, talking to people, if I was in the World Cup, I wouldn't be talking to you. Our message wouldn't be getting across. So to me, it's much more valuable for somebody to hear me and actually take one or two things out of this 1 hour talk. And after the World Cup, people will know me. People will know who I am, because I was in Qatar and I was reporting from, field level. But how am I changing lives?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Now you and we're changing lives. So that's much more meaningful. So yes, if you get upset over something that didn't happen for you, there's bigger things coming.
Yes.
Just got to be patient.
Yes, agree. And I appreciate a lot, again, Ale, your time, your experience, and sharing all your thoughts. And let's keep motivating, inspiring, and sharing with others, so they can transform their lives and motivate them to change and have a healthier lifestyle. That is what it makes me every day. Just wake up early in the morning and work for it.
And just work on that. Thank you so much, Sandra, for having me here, for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of what I know. And if I can have just a closing remark, parents, get out there, encourage your kids. They look up to you. You're their mentor. You're their hero. They want to be like you when they grow up. So show them how it is to be strong, how it is to be disciplined, how it is to be the role model that they're looking for. And it starts with you. I mean, I know we're talking about kids and how we need to do it, but I think this talk is geared to parents, to motivate parents to be better. First, we got to be better before we can hope and guide them to be better. We got to start with us. So take whatever you find important and useful out of this conversation and apply it to you. Whether you want to start playing soccer, you want to start kicking the ball outside, you want to start sharing a book, or you want to start, just start something, but it starts with us. When parents change their mind, everything else just flourishes.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ale. Please, we will share this share with me your YouTube, or you can share it right now. Any way we can contact you, or parents can contact you if they feel motivated to get started in a fitness level and get more active, physically active. I know you have your own studio, so share information from you with us, please.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Yes, Alpha Fitness is a fitness studio. It's not just for women. It's for boys and girls, moms, dads, everybody. I have a bunch of moms that bring their sons, and they work out together. It's amazing. So it's just for everybody. We have Zumba classes, we have weight training, we have strength training, we have trampoline, we have a bunch of specialty classes. We have all hours of the day. We're there. So if you want to visit the website, it's www.alphafitstudio.com. You can find it in Instagram, Alpha Fit Studio, and Facebook, Alpha Fit Studio, Alpha with an F, because a lot of the times they spell it with PH. So it's Alpha with an F. And also in Facebook, you can find my personal page, Ale Becerra TV. You can follow me. You can share some of the posts that I have on there. And also on TikTok. I don't post a lot on TikTok. I probably should. But it's also on there, a lot of the content. And yeah, just so you guys know, starting probably the 20th of December, we're going to have a kids camp. And basically the kids are out of school and they're probably driving parents crazy. So parents can come and work out. And then as soon as parents work out, we have a kids session. So the kids can be from 7 all the way to 15 years old. And it's a bunch of agility drills. It's a bunch of burpees, a lot of running, a lot of fun games, working on teams, working on skills, working on agility, mobility, strength, cardio, endurance, team effort, it's a lot of fun. We did it last summer and it was a great success. So this year we're only going to do it for 2 weeks during the summer or the winter break. And then on the summer, we'll advertise it again for 2 months. So it's just a little try, kind of get their giggles out while they're out of school.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much again. It's time to close. Thank you very much, Ale. We will have more opportunities and times to have probably Ale present in Sporti at the fields. So follow us and we will keep you posted with more information. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Ale.
guys.
This
Gracias,
was
Betty.
an amazing live. I really love it.
Thank you.
Gracias, Ale. Bye.
Bye, gracias.